tuned in to the Connect. What up, world? Welcome to the Connect. It's your boy Slim Thugger.
Boss like Rico.
OG Shop.
And we got a guest tonight. Introduce yourself, boss.
Justin Moore, I'm a civil rights attorney from Dallas, but I practice nationally, and I'm here on behalf of Larry Hoover. So I want to thank you guys for providing me the platform to not only advocate for the man, but also spread his vision and mission to the folks that are watching.
Right on.
That's what's up, man. So this is an OG Chi-Town, obviously led program. So yeah, man, we at the Connect, we just want to keep everybody connected. You know what I'm saying? We the Connect, baby. We want to make sure everybody, you know what I'm saying, the real ones, get their word out and be able to speak on what they need to speak on, man. From every aspect, whether it's vegan, being healthy,
right,
getting some money, you know what I'm saying, or just a vision, whatever it is, or helping your people, whatever.
Knowing the laws.
Right.
Knowing the law, that's the most important part about this show.
Right.
Yeah, we need to get aware of what's going on because they taking us fast, man. It ain't slavery no more. We enslaving ourselves by not knowing what's going on.
Exactly.
Right on. So shit, what is it that you're working on right now?
I'm working on a lot, man. So I got a few projects, police brutality projects. So that's really my foundation is suing police departments when they rough up black and brown people. But most importantly, the reason why I'm here is on behalf of Larry Hoover, as I just mentioned. We're trying to get him out, man. I know that sounds like a lofty goal, but I think we have a good shot at getting him out this year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
It needs to happen.
Man, I was talking to Jay Prince about this on Saturday, and he's the reason why I got involved.
Right.
But I mean, the conversation boiled down to, man, this is probably the best opportunity that the old man has ever seen in regards to getting out of isolation, man. So that's the project that I'm really involved with currently.
So we looking to bring him home or get him in a better condition than the way he is now?
Oh, we're trying to get him home completely, but there's a tier type of approach to it. So we're trying to get him out of solitary first, get him back under his state conviction, because he's serving 2 sentences right now. But once we get him back home in Illinois, then we can try and work the governor and get him out from that standpoint.
Yes.
So for the people that don't know what's going on with him, when you say get him out of solitary, like what's going on with him now, the conditions they got him in?
So he is in currently ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. He's literally under a mountain, man. He's been in isolation for 25 years. He's been housed with 9/11 terrorists, mass murderers, Ted Kaczynski,
The Unabomber.
Right. And he's in 23-1 lockdown. He has no human contact. He can only talk to his family sporadically each month, so it's not even a consistent type of communication that he has. So he's probably under the most restrictive form of isolation that anybody who has received that type of conviction that he has ever suffered in their lifetime.
Right. And what is his conviction to make him put him in now?
Well, so he got convicted of 40 counts, all dealing with drugs,
right,
but mostly it's nonviolent drug offenses. So a lot of people assume that his offenses had some violence involved, but that was never mentioned in the sentencing document. So he is a nonviolent drug offender serving a federal conviction.
So no reason to have him where he at for some drugs.
No reason to have him in isolation,
right?
Shut off from the rest of the world.
Right, right.
So drugs is really a cover-up for him being a political prisoner?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we talk about him being a political prisoner a lot, and a lot of times folks kind of look at it with, whether it be disdain or they kind of say like, y'all just, full of shit. But I think it's appropriate because if you look at the drug war, if you look at his entire life, actually, I mean, that's a map of how the government has tried to use certain things to keep people oppressed. And I think his life is indicative of that because, as we talked about on the couch earlier, how the drug war was initiated, man, it was initiated as a means to keep black people under surveillance, right? So when he got, I think it was 1970, that's when he first got sentenced under his state sentence.
Right.
I mean, that was allegedly a violent offense. It had nothing to do with drugs, but he was about to get out on that. And if you look from his life from 70 up until 1994, you got to look at the drug war from the standpoint of why was it enacted, right? 1970, that's when Nixon was in office. He had this tough on crime initiative. And what he was saying was post civil rights, black folks turning up, getting movements started. We got to find a way to keep these movements, you know what I'm saying, kind of subverted to where you don't have black folks really getting the types of, power dynamics that they were fighting for. So they use this terminology of delinquent behavior, or they view black people as delinquent. But once the 70s rolled around, you couldn't just police black people by the fact that they being black. It had to turn into something else. So over a 10, 12-year span, they lucked up into this. It was dumb luck, but they turned out, and this is from them not only deindustrializing in the cities, taking jobs out, but flooding them with drugs. They started realizing, like, well, black folks starting to make a lot of money from drugs. They started to fund a lot of stuff in these hoods as far as legitimate businesses, things of that nature. Folks were selling drugs, cleaning it, buying,
putting community of people together.
Putting community first, putting it together, that really being the glue, so to speak. So they started saying that, well, shit, drugs is the thing that's keeping these communities together. Let's start surveilling these dudes selling drugs and start putting them under these real severe sentences. That's how we'll break the communities down and keep black folks under surveillance like we were doing in the 60s.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And so, Larry, he was able to do what he was doing for a number of years without any real ramifications for it because they weren't policing it like that. But once he started flexing his political muscle, 21st Century Vote, 21st
Century Vote.
Yeah, what was 21st Century Vote, Sean?
It came together, just a group of people backing a political movement that was going on in the city with black folks. Things we was getting mistreated of, the housing authority, bad living conditions, and we just wasn't standing for it. And the community got together, a group of black people, just to go downtown and march. And when they seen that one person can put people together like that, to go down there and march for a cause, that's where the label political prisoner came from. Because you got a person that can get people to come together.
Right. And what year was
That's
this?
what they don't want. 21st Century Vote was in the 90s.
And Larry was free then.
No.
So he organized that from prison.
Yeah.
And that's what pretty much sent them into Supermax and all of that.
Right.
When they seen
how
powerful
more
he
of
was.
the investigations going. Got him looking into his life.
Right. Gotcha.
Because like you said earlier, as long as he was just throwing concerts and not really getting involved in the political apparatus, they let him exist how he wanted to.
Yeah.
He was about to get out on a state charge. I mean, he was going through the process with that. And once they saw that he had real political weight and power, they was like, you know what, we can't let him out on the streets. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy to look at it like that because they do so many people across the country like that who can bring people together.
Right.
They'd rather you bring people together for foolishness, entertainment, than bring them together for strength. So that's why they always attack people who can put strength together.
Bro, the most profound thing, and it's really right in front of us, the reason why I think Larry's story is so important, just look where he's at. We mentioned earlier, he's in prison with terrorists.
That's crazy.
How does drug dealing turn you into a terrorist?
Yeah, scared of power.
You're scared of power, man. I mean, it's not just drugs, man. It's something beyond that. And where we at, at this point, as far as trying to get them out, I think we're gonna put the government back them into a corner. They're gonna have to make the decision of, do we let them out or do we admit that this is beyond drugs? Because I don't think the drugs is really that important to this country, man. I don't think they care about drugs the way they say that they do.
Right. What's been their excuse so far of why they doing them like this?
Man, so one is the drugs. Two, and I think they provided some type of indication that they want to admit that it's something beyond that. And this was in a couple indictments that I read last year. It was a few guys that got wrapped up in Atlanta and Memphis. The second page of the indictment, it said that Larry's organization was created to overthrow the government. You know what I'm saying? That was in the second page of the indictment. Right. So when they say that an organization was created to overthrow the government, this is just like a street organization, a community organization.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you say that was created to overthrow the government, you saying that for one reason only. You want to keep the people that are associated with this under surveillance. And I don't know anybody that has been involved in the drug war, at least domestically, that have been actively trying to overthrow the government. That's That's a crazy goal, bro.
Right.
That's a crazy goal.
That's just to stick you with a lifetime brand.
Yeah, man. I mean,
we can watch it.
You know, I'm not sitting here as somebody that's claiming that I've ever sold drugs, but I've represented a lot of guys who have, decided to go that route. And the only reason they've done that is for survival, bro.
Right.
They've never done that to overthrow the government.
Right.
Bottom line.
That's the biggest lie this government is telling about people who have chosen to sell drugs.
And that's one thing I understood about the government, and I hope a lot of people understand. What they say is not law. It's not fact. They lie.
Right.
The government lie. The government lie to put you away. The government, you got to fight a lie of the government, and they supposed to be the lawmakers. That is
right.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, just imagine the play that they ran, man. Like, so they take the jobs out of the communities. They give us shitty schools. They take all of our resources away, but they give us drugs and they dare us to sell it. They dare us to sell that shit. It's like a dare. Like, I'm gonna dare you to sell these drugs or become an addict yourself. And if you try that shit, exactly. If you try that shit, we gonna throw you in prison forever.
How are they able to get away with this?
It's the government.
Right.
It's shit.
I know exactly. I know the answer, but I'm asking the question.
Yeah, exactly.
They got away with slavery.
Right.
Shit.
They got exactly, bro.
So that's it. And this is just slavery switched around.
Right.
Because you can't, like, we should grow as a people. The ways of holding us down grow. The ways of us developing, we should grow.
Right.
I think that's what we lack. We supposed to come together and grow, because every day they working on new ways. Because they not going to be able to hold you in a cage just forever. That ain't going to work.
Right.
So you're going to outgrow that. You know what I'm saying? So then there comes a new system. They couldn't keep us all broke forever.
Right.
So now they know they gotta let us have some money, but then they come back and tax the money or do something else that we don't understand now. Because we are go-getters as a people. We thinkers, we creators. You know what I'm saying? They can never stop us from doing that. So they try to do it with control. It's always done with control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I'm trying to see what's the way we can break this control. What do we got to do?
Right.
How the fuck can we get free?
Right. Right. I mean, it's
do what others. I look at other races like foreigners who come over here and they'll build their own schools and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's ways you can get your money back for that.
It's
from
important.
the government. It's
important to do that.
Right.
Just having brains on your side. People who know different type of shit.
But do you think that they care more about holding us down than they do them? They come here because it seems like they give them more opportunities than they give us. Like you say, when Larry starts speaking up and making his movement, they start putting him down.
Right.
When you got other foreigners that come over here and they, like, you go on Bel Air, they got a whole Chinatown, they moving together, nobody seems to fuck with them.
They just working together and coming strong where they can't fuck with them.
Yeah.
The same thing like the gay community and everybody else. Like all these different movements, we just ain't doing.
We don't work together.
We don't. But Larry was working together. As soon as he started working, is when they shut him down. It's
that's
still
live,
to me, it seemed like when blacks start working together, before they always shut us down.
Always, always.
See, but then too, it's like also when it comes to that, you gotta kind of like at this day and age, I don't think it's as crazy as it was back then. And then I think we probably would be more protected. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know it's real, they're going to run in here and do whatever they want to do. But I think in the 2020 age, I don't think it's going to be able to go down that
like Farrakhan, look what they do. They shut him off for Instagram.
Yeah. I'm sure they want to do more.
Right.
They want to do more, but he's teaching the younger how to be strong like him. That's our most important thing. That's what we can do. Because we ain't going to be able to do it overnight. We're going to end up colliding with the people because everybody think they know they got it. That's our problem now. That's why we like in a barrel. So the thing we got to do is learn right and teach everybody up under us how to be right. See, that's what he doing, Farrakhan. Now he releasing his soldiers because he see they attacking him. Yeah. They want to overshadow him. They want to shut him out. You know what I'm saying?
So explain the Farrakhan thing a bit, man. I'm not all the way.
They shut him off Instagram. His platform. He was on there speaking every day, getting his point across. He had a big following. Instagram and Facebook deleted his account and said that it was a threat or what.
Put him like a terrorist.
That's like he was
Something
like
like-
anti-Semitic or something.
Exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So he ain't able to speak on his platform
Right.
no more. So you know what I'm saying? I guess he can't get his word across unless you go to his church or wherever his speakings.
Right. Well, the playing field has changed, man. So you can get your message across on Instagram or Twitter now without having to hold a meeting to have folks come out. So you can explain why the oppression is the way that it is without having to go to great lengths to get people together. So what they're doing now is they're trying to get guys who have that influence and who are willing to go that far and explain the fucked up shit in this country. They're trying to get them off of Instagram. I mean, they did that to Jay the other day about that Parchment, Mississippi thing.
Yes, he explained to me that they trying to do him
They're
like
trying
that.
to get him off of there, man.
Yes.
And I mean, that's crazy, man. So
What is the base of what they saying that he did wrong?
they saying that is so they got the hate speech label, so they'll say that you're furthering hate speech. Jay posted I think he posted videos of dudes getting stabbed in that prison,
Right.
which people need to see, and they said he was posting explicit content.
Right.
So that was the basis of them taking his post down and threatening him with taking his IG account.
And accusing him of hate,
Yeah.
not to make it look racial.
That's the same shit they saying about Farrakhan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's because Jay got a voice and they know how many
So
motherfuckers
back
will
to
follow
the
him.
people with power.
Right. So now they saying, nigga, you better keep it at a minimum
Right.
or we're gonna get you up off of here.
Because he
Only
said
post
this was
music.
the grandchildren of who?
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what we need to be doing is ways around it. We go to Chameleon Now's Convos. That's black owned, and then you can still get that around. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We don't necessarily need them. There's other places we can go.
You won't reach as many, at least starting, but
True.
that should be the mind frame of black
Right.
people.
That should be our mind frame
Yeah.
on everything. I was gonna say that.
That's the thing. That's why I feel like we take the L the most, because we don't work together. And that's what, even with the other races I see them working together and building them schools and and figuring out how to finesse the system or whatever, how to make it work for them. And we don't got a lot of the people doing that.
But tell me
I was gonna
this.
say that's one thing about Larry, because that's what he said about that. Like he had a vision. Like we should have been doing a lot of this stuff on our own, like
Right.
protecting our neighborhood, like
Exactly.
going up to these young brothers who they think are strong and talking to them and getting the whole community,
Right.
owning the store in the community.
All that.
Back to what we talk about 1,000 times. How is somebody else selling us our
Ours,
clothes
right,
in
our
our
community.
community?
I think they broke
They
us up
have
so
the
much.
phone store.
We just now rebuilding as a race. They done broke us down from the 80s, 90s,
I think it's
80s,
still.
90s.
I think we still brainwashed to a certain extent to not fuck with each other. You
That
know what I'm
was his
saying? Like,
vision of that growth and development for it to develop and change. Like we gotta depend on us. We can't. If we go
like
get
naturally support each other.
Naturally,
you know what I'm
if
saying?
we go
Not
get
see
that
the
money,
motherfucker be
right.
like, man, I ain't gonna give him.
We should be here fighting each other. Hey, go spend your black dollar. It should be automatic.
With
instead
other
of-
races,
We shouldn't
it's
have to
natural.
make a
With a
protest
lot of
to
races,
say that.
It's
Right.
natural. Like I see other, when I dated out my race or whatever, I
Right.
see how other people just move their family. Like it's just about if you're a certain race, then they gonna support like a motherfucker
Off the
from
strength.
everything. Like I'm talking about, this my such and such friend from whatever back home. I don't really know him, but we go and you know what I'm saying. It's just a lot of support. But with us, I don't know. We just ain't. We got a lot of it. It's good. It's getting better.
It's
than,
getting
you know,
better.
ever
It's
been.
getting better.
We
It's
can't
building
just,
back up.
we can't just say like we had no progress.
But we
but
gotta-
we definitely could
We
get
gotta
better.
pump more love into the situation
Yeah.
because it's more needed out of us. Like we more gotta come back together.
Just making it cool,
Right.
like just a natural. When you see a black man, it ain't fuck you or not speaking to him. Just like a natural nod, like what's up, boss? Natural
Yeah.
words of
Let's
encouragement.
start there.
That's what I do all the
Start
time.
there.
I call
Yeah.
everybody boss when I meet them, just to give that type of, and that's why I bet a lot of niggas respect me because I don't give a fuck who he is. I'm gonna be like, what's up with it, boss? Much love, and I'm not gonna ignore a nigga. I'm gonna treat everybody the same. I'm not gonna just look at you and act like I don't see you. If I see you, I'm a what's up? You know what I'm saying? if I get in the elevator, I'm gonna speak to you. You know, I'm
Right.
just not on the deep. I'm not like I don't fuck with nobody. Like I don't know who this nigga is. Like
Bro, you think it's just common courtesy, or you think it's something deeper than that?
I think it start with common courtesy. I think it just start with just natural good vibes. You know, like all right, you ain't my enemy. You my, I ain't got nothing against
Bro,
you.
so you knew Larry before he went into isolation. You've been involved in the movement there for a minute. So why do you think he was so successful in getting black folks together? It wasn't even just black folks. It was Latin guys,
It was
folks of different races. Like what was the component that he had that's different from a lot of cats to actually bring people together and actually had them move in unison?
And got a lot of friends because the growth and development movement was a strong piece, and it was more about being a man, finding out your inner self and staying in unity with your brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Under all righteous endeavors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
with that coming together,
Yeah.
he brought so many young brothers together, just teaching them different. Being that we grew up in a time where fathers wasn't in the household. You know what I'm saying? So you wasn't seeing a lot of brothers in the streets together. Everybody was backstabbing each other, but he didn't promote that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't promote the self-hate.
Right.
It was a manly thing with him. And,
Right.
It just went a man gonna respect a man and a man gonna respect brothers that can stand together. So I got so many different other brothers from outside of different organizations and everything, because everybody like Larry.
Right.
If you get to sit down and talk to him,
Right.
have a conversation with him, see how he move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you're about. If you're a man, he gonna
Right.
respect that.
And he
You know
came
what
from
I'm
that
saying?
era when you had actual leaders who pushed for unity, right? The 60s, right?
Yes.
He's a child of the 60s.
Yes.
And I think there was a time when you had black folks actually working together, man, post-slavery up until like civil rights in the 70s and 80s. That's when folks really started getting splintered, man. But that's why I was saying it was more of a grand design by the government, because they realized we was moving as a powerful unit. That's why they killed Malcolm and Martin and Fred Hampton and Huey P.
Each brother you get a chance.
You know what I mean? One of the most profound things that Larry told me was, he was like, yeah, man, the government saw that black people in general were moving towards actually creating real political power, and they started killing off the Panthers and arresting the gangsters. Pulling them out of the community to where, you don't have those strong figures saying like, youngster, you fucking up. You going against the grain, you need to come back into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
You take that glue out, then you just got cats going everywhere.
To destroy.
You know what I
A
mean?
part of their plan. Their drugs get to go everywhere.
Right.
And that's why I feel like it's getting better, because now it's people that was arrested back then and all of that. They coming home now and they teaching you other guys up under them how to teach these young people how to stick together. So that's why I feel like we building back up.
It's what's so crazy about it is, look at that glue. Look at that distance. So is it even reachable to reach to the younger guys? Will they even listen to an older guy when you got a social media with another younger guy who lit up, who talking whatever he talking about?
Not a lot of them, but some of them will.
Some of them will, but the ones you got to get through to the ones they look up to.
Yeah.
The ones that they listen to and they following.
And that's the thing about Larry. That's where he was going. He wasn't going. He was going to talk to the individual who's doing something. He that type of approachable guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You wanna, ain't no sense in dirty. Let's go to whoever think they was happening.
Right.
And make them aware of the movement and what's gonna come to you if you keep going the wrong way. But if we come together, this will happen.
Right.
So your thing is justice reform. So what's your plan on because you trying to reform the whole judicial system?
Yeah.
So what's the plan on that?
What's the steps?
Yeah, like what's
into
the
doing
steps?
stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a funny story, man. So it was this extremely wealthy white woman. She invited me out for lunch probably about a couple months ago, man. She just wanted to pick my brain, I guess. The first thing she told me when I sat down, she was like, Justin, you ain't really trying to change the system. It's a good system. And I'm like, that's a crazy first question to ask somebody. And she a wealthy white woman, you know what I'm saying? So she getting paid off the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I'm thinking is like, man, you just don't understand how fucked up the system really is, and how not only does it exclude us from the type of money that you making, but it's putting us in chains too. So my whole thing is, as far as what I want to see from justice reform and the type of steps I'm trying to take towards it, I think we need a full, whole-scale revolution, not just reform. Reform is just like, if you look at it like a house. So let's say you wanted to redo your house. That's reform, bro. It's a reformation project.
Right.
I mean, if the house is on a fucked up foundation, you got shit falling, you got to tear that down and rebuild it. That's revolution, bro. And I mean, a lot of folks ain't willing to go that far because it takes a lot of effort and commitment and unifying. But, I want to take it beyond reform, man. We need to start from the bottom. Because just as we talked about earlier, that the drug war wasn't really about drugs, it was about really putting black folks under surveillance. I mean, the whole time that we're really understanding and listening about folks when they talk about drugs, we're saying that, all right, well, drugs is the reason why our communities is fucked up. But it ain't really the reason, drugs ain't the reason why our communities is fucked up. It's poverty. Drugs is a symptom of that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas sell drugs because they don't have jobs.
Right.
People get addicted because they don't have money to go to rehabilitation programs.
Right.
I mean, I know white cats that do drugs 10 times more than, most black guys, black women. They're able to go to rehabilitation, come out and be straight, go back to their job.
Get right back to their job.
Get right back.
Back to life.
But with us, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You get addicted. You might not be able to find a rehabilitation program. You got to go to jail and sit that out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's,
So
that's
now
one of the answers, a rehabilitation place in the hood.
So now when you
Rehabilitation
come back, you can't even get an apartment. I know a couple brothers in this situation right now.
So rehabilitation places, housing programs that we
Housing
set up ourselves.
That we set up ourselves.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Building schools.
Yeah.
We got to
That's
So
try
you
and
can have a quality school. Again,
Quality school.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you do a private school in the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how hard is that? Because the motherfucking TV Johnny said they did one.
Yeah. It's just coming together.
It's coming together. It's working
Can we
together.
stay together? Because like you was talking about in certain communities, like they already have a fund. When the family come over here, they give the family the fund already, set them up already, buy them a store and everything.
Right.
They just pay the fund back for
Right.
the next family.
That's how they do it.
We just have to get that structure, and within that structure, how do you keep the jealousy, envy out of that structure? Because we always put them together. It's a lot of people. It's not like our community don't come together, because we do. We just have a lot of bickering and fighting amongst us that
Right.
don't let us grow. And what we don't do, we try to hold on to these positions and these seats so long, and without incorporating the youth.
Mm-hmm.
We so distant from. That's why I say, would they listen to an OG? First, you got to incorporate them in what's
Right.
happening to decide. Okay, this one might not belong in that seat, but this one he got qualifications.
Right,
Right. Another thing we do as a people bad too. We expect everybody to be the same way, and everybody not.
Yeah.
So we don't use our people for what everybody is good for. I notice other races, they do that.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't. Everybody not gonna be no after D. Everybody not gonna be. Everybody just be good at what they good at.
Right. Why y'all think people are so focused on getting the shine and not sharing it with anybody else? Because you talking about jealousy and envy, that's part of it, right?
That's part of it.
We got guys who get the shine and they don't want to spread it to the rest of the team, or they want to be the leader. I mean, why do y'all think that's the
Them
case?
gotta be deeper issues.
Right.
than,
I don't think it. I think
yeah.
it'd be like, what is motherfuckers bringing to the team? Like, what is you
Yeah.
doing? Like, a lot of people come around when you get success and just want to freeload. You know what I'm saying?
And don't want to work to get
right.
the same
Exactly.
shine.
They don't want to work.
Just 'cause
They just want their handout.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
You
'cause
have
one
to know
person
the difference.
on the team got it don't mean everybody around them got what it takes to get it
Right.
also.
Right.
You gotta have a business mind frame
And they
be
come back to
disciplined.
knowing who good at what.
I think all this shit come out, everything we saying, all comes back down to we steady losing family structure as we go older and older.
When
and
you
it's steady
boil
fucking
down
up.
to
And
it.
that's the difference between us and these other races. Everybody over there got family structure.
Right.
These motherfuckers, I heard the motherfuckers say they had their kids some stocks at 5 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They putting them as unauthorized users on their cars at
Yes.
15
So
and
the
getting
credit
their
right.
credit right.
Their
When
credit
they're
is
18,
right.
their credit already ready. We don't have no setup. We just out here figuring it out every time, starting from scratch. Yeah. No father, no mother to give us the real game of how we supposed to do this.
And it's in their era, the money wasn't coming in like that, so they had to work 2 jobs just to get us some clothes and shit to get to school.
Right.
So they didn't have the extra money to invest.
And probably under debt too.
Yeah, they went under debt. Heavily under debt. You know what I'm saying? So now that's why it's more on us to teach the next behind us how they should come out untouched.
A big thing our people need is finance. We don't even
we need to know that.
Even if we can set our kids up now with good credit and everything. When they turn 18, if they just swipe that card and don't know about, they gonna fuck it up. They don't know about that. Like somebody I know took a finance class and they told me that they told them, you and your husband together, if y'all combine, you make 50, he make 50,000 a year. You don't have an income of you don't accumulate 100,000 worth of bills. Y'all accumulate bills of $50,000 off the husband, and y'all save the $50,000 of the wife. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. If you make $5,000 a month, or whatever your bills is, y'all supposed to go off of one person's income. But us, well, I ain't gonna say us, but most people, majority, they go off of that whole what they make a year. Yeah. That's not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the way to live.
That's not.
Because if any emergency happens and you live off your 100, you got to go in debt.
Exactly. And then what are you saving off of that 100? If you steady paying bills, you make $5,000 a month and $4,000 on bills.
Right.
What you gonna do if your child in 1 month need $2,000 worth of medicine?
Right.
You automatically under.
Right. And this lesson is needed from, I think, all walks of life, because there's so many young people out here we know that get it and run through it because they no management skills.
Right.
No management skills.
No investing, no stocks.
They get left in positions where they doing desperate acts.
Right.
Because they got used to some money.
Right.
Even when they get money, they don't know how to invest it. How to
look at your average ATM robber. They gonna buy. They gonna hit for 100 racks, and they gonna buy cars and jewelry. And it's like
it's not a good
investment.
That's
all we know. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all we know.
I can say about Larry, he was always he was against that.
Yeah.
And he shouted that, even though to the ones who didn't accept it. Yeah. He said it out there that it'll land you where I'm at.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Look at what you're doing out there.
Right. And the massive debt is one of the things that this government has used to funnel us towards drugs too. They pull out all the lending institutions. We get into heavy debt. They take out, like I said, the resources earlier, and they just give us drugs. So I mean, the debt. I think that's another step. Trying to find a way to finance the hood. Finance these
because that's the biggest problem.
Yeah,
that's when all the confusion comes. Nobody's getting no money. Nobody's making no money.
Yeah.
You just in a circular state of poverty, man. You trying to find a way to get out of it.
You start digging yourself deeper.
Digging yourself deeper. So it's like, man, I might as well take this risk.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's your only chances. Yeah.
So what's your steps of reforming is justice system? Like you were saying, is it voting? Our legislators
getting more people in there.
Right.
Voting is important, man. But I think voting is important from the standpoint of showing folks that this shit really ain't solid. It's not on solid foundation to work for us. And I know this shit sounds weird, but I was talking to one of my OGs the other day in the political space. He was like, oh yeah, we need to vote for Biden and shit. And I'm like, man, I don't know about voting for another moderate. It's gonna get us to where we need. Because at the end of the day, a moderate cat like Biden and Bloomberg, they just gonna put a Band-Aid on it. Mm-hmm. The thing about Trump or even a Sanders, they gonna get into office, it's gonna show you how fucked up the shit really is. The past 4 years, we've seen how fucked up shit is with Trump in office. Trump ain't the reason why shit fucked up. He just ain't gonna sit there and do shit to hide how fucked up it is, because he don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to vote, and this is more of a strategic type of thing. We need to vote people in office to where we get into a position where when we're ready for real revolution, we got the people in office that are gonna actually fight for that. And one of the realest things that I've ever read in my life, man, it was Robert E. Lee's biography. y'all probably like, why y'all reading this Civil War cat's biography? But I think the Confederates were the trillest revolutionaries this country has ever seen, bro. Like, the type of revolution that they had, nobody's supposed to wage a war from the inside of the country on this country. Like, nobody's supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, what they've done to our revolutionaries, they killed all of them. But the Confederates, they was able to raise a revolution for 4 or 5 years. They had the resources that they needed. They had they had the support that they needed. They were able to be sustainable, man. You know what I'm saying? But
question.
But let me
think it's coming back to that?
Yeah, man. I really
see
do.
it.
I really do.
That, but go ahead.
I mean, because if you got Bernie Sanders versus Trump, those are two extremes. Bloomberg is kind of like, you don't know if he's more Trump or if he's more Democratic. You know what I'm saying? He's more of an in the middle type of guy. But if you got Bernie and Trump, they're gonna pull at the seams of this shit, and it's really gonna show us like, all right, well, we don't have anybody to really put a pretty picture on it. This is really how fucked up this country is. And I think what we really need is a real awakening for black folks to realize, like, reform ain't gonna get us the liberation that we're looking for. Because this country ain't built for us to be liberated. This country is built for us to be slaves.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So to look for a reform project to say, all right, well, you know, this is gonna get us in a position where we're not in perpetual debt. Because you got to look at debt. So debt has been looked at as slavery, debt peonage. So they'll put you under debt, and you got to just work the rest of your life to get out from under it. You're not living a life of leisure. You're not financially free. Freedom is more of a financial term these days.
A big percentage of our people.
You know what I'm saying? Freedom ain't a physical thing anymore. It's financial. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if you don't have financial freedom, you're in financial slavery, right? Because that's the opposite of freedom, right? Mm-hmm. That's what this country is doing to black folks is we're making you guys in debt. You passing down debt to your kids, to your grandchildren. Y'all gonna be enslaved by this shit forever, and we gonna make sure you can't get out of it. And if the system is built for you to not get out of fucking financial debt, how do you find a way to get to the point to where you're fully liberated? And me, honestly, for me just thinking about it, I might be wrong. I'm sure a lot of folks will disagree, but I don't think we get out from that situation without a full-scale revolution.
And I know we don't get into politics now unless we get economically strong. We gotta get economically strong to get our right politics in there. So if we don't come together,
right,
we're not gonna get economically strong.
But why don't you think like a guy like Obama was able to, you know, make our situation better?
Because he came in to clean up some fucked up shit that was already going on.
He wasn't trying to start a revolution.
Right. I don't think he was interested in that.
He wasn't interested.
No.
I mean, even now, you barely see him make any statements, man. Like he's silent, bro. Like he got financial freedom and now he's chilling. I think it was more about him becoming president and less about him really helping the movement. I mean, he came from the South Side. I'm sure 21st Century Vote got him some votes. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he went to Miss Wendy or, you know, some of the other OGs that are a part of that movement and asked them for support. But he
I
never
believe
came
too,
back.
like you said before, like Trump, he ain't scared to let his nuts hang and free my people. He don't give a damn. Obama was more, if I let Larry out, how would they look at me? You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying?
gonna look at it like the black man.
The black man just came in and helped the black people. He wanted to make it look like I'm gonna help
just being
America,
a good president.
being a good
It's
president.
about America.
Right.
When he really should have did both. Helped his black people and
Because now
been good for
Trump is
America.
doing shit.
Right.
He's doing it, and what are they saying about him?
Nothing they can do about
Nothing they can do. They might talk shit about him, but who we freed last week? His homie. That shit ain't even really been talked about no more. So
it's done.
if Obama would have freed Larry, they would have bitched at him for a week
anybody,
and then been done.
It's so many political prisoners in here that's wrongfully held. They just need a voice.
They need a voice, and that's what's wrong with a lot of
They need a voice.
our top people. And I ain't talking about Oprah, but they don't speak up. You know what I'm saying? For people like that, you got people that they shutting down like Farrakhan. The ones who really speaking up, they shut them down. They let Oprah make it. They let motherfuckers like who else? Barack make it. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up, nigga. Do what we say.
Anything to the masses. I see anybody with any control over the masses.
Right.
You all right. You all right in your corner, in your shell. If it's the masses,
Right.
Right.
you're awakening.
That's an important point, man. You got the Oprahs, the Gales, and the Baracks. I think there's two types of black people in this world. You got those who support respectability politics, so I don't want to say they fashion themselves after white folks, but they try to be the good blacks.
Right.
So you was talking about Barack was focused on being a good president. What's a good president? Why can't a good president be freeing your people?
Right.
Instead of that being looked at as bad.
Exactly.
But they letting white people write the narrative of what good is, right? So you got black folks who subscribe to that, and they'll sacrifice, the blacks who don't have the money and come from the inner cities just so they can be accepted by, the white power structure.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So that I think
that's what a lot of motherfuckers is on the cool. That's police like that. A policeman overlook some shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to just look cool for them motherfuckers. Like that shit just all over. It's
bro.
forever.
I mean, you see black policemen roughing up guys all the time, man. And I sue police. That's probably my primary. That's where I do a lot of my work. And a lot of times, I was working on that Botham Jean situation, the cat that got shot in his house.
Right.
More people supported that because the cop was white. But I've seen way more fucked up shit from black police officers where black folks don't want to get behind it and support the victim because they say, oh, well, the guy was black. It ain't about the officer being black. It's about him being something that he thinks is better than regular black people.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Once they get on that blue, once you get on blue, it's like, all right, well, a piece of my blackness, I kind of wash that away a little bit. I'm better than y'all. Mm-hmm. So I get to treat y'all like these white folks treat y'all.
Right, and then when you getting in there and you trying to be the best, that shit ain't gonna change.
Nah,
you need to get in there and help your people.
Right.
And but because it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Even like Barack, man, this country gonna be fucked up before you and after you. Help your people, bro, because we ain't gonna get another shot at
just
another
get some
black
points,
president.
you know what I'm saying? At least it's something from like Trump doing. Trump getting points with us doing, letting motherfuckers go. He just like, man, fuck it, I gotta do something for the hood. Let's free these motherfuckers.
When you get your chance to do what
when
you
get
believe
your
in,
point,
do what you believe in.
Yeah.
All right.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I'm switching subjects, so go ahead. I want to ask you something.
I was gonna ask you about them brutality cases. So it's more black on black situations.
I mean, you gotta think about it like this. Most of the officers that come to the black community are blacks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Is it?
I mean, but it's not a lot of
It don't
black.
seem like that in Houston.
But it's not a lot of black officers either. So
Yeah. I would rather that though. More black people policing black hood.
That's how it should be.
I done seen some reckless black cops though, man. So I think
I know them. We have them all over.
But I think the academy trained them like that. Fucked up though.
Nah,
that's what he's
it's some
saying.
people
Once you
fucked
become
up.
blue, you blue. You're the.
Because I've seen some come out and be assholes in the beginning to the hood, and then after they figure it out later, about 5 years on the force, it's like they switch and be the coolest motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the relationship could be
trained.
better. Like you said, I think it's individual. I think it's just how motherfuckers is. You got assholes, you got people, bad people.
right.
So,
But also most cops that get into those
That
situations.
badge give you that authority feeling too. It's like a rush. Some people have never had authority.
That
before,
power.
So, yeah.
True.
Right.
And
Yes.
You're right.
And also to finish up on that, most cops that get into those situations, they've been 1 to 5 years on the force. So some of the older cops don't really get into that.
right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask you was about that case. What's the name?
Botham Jean.
Botham Jean. What's your take on it? What you think happened with that? Did you think she really mistaken for the wrong apartment?
Man, I can't get into her head, you know what I'm saying? And, we can only go off of what she said. I think this is what happened, man. I think she actually made a mistake, but when she went in there, she was like, all right, I don't know where I'm at, but this black person got to be the wrong one, so I'm going to shoot him thinking that he's a burglar.
Right.
I think if Botham Jean would have been white, she would have checked herself and been like, damn, maybe I made a mistake. But you know how white folks are. If it comes to a situation where not all white folks, but,
She looking at him like he was the criminal.
sometimes it's like, all right, you faced with a situation and you got to check yourself, or is you checking somebody else? I think she was like, there's no way I'm wrong, and he's in the right. So I'm just gonna treat him like he's a burglar. I think that's really what happened.
If it would have been another white, you pretty much
she
would have
would've
been like,
checked
"Hey,
herself.
what's up? Who is it?"
Yeah.
Hey, instead, black,
Boom,
just
straight for the gun.
straight for the gun and shoot.
Y'all talking about the girl who walked in the upstairs?
Yeah.
I ain't never been that fucked up. I don't believe you can walk up and.
He just giving
You
them. He
worked
going
on
off
that
of what
case?
she said. That's what he's saying.
You worked on that case, Justin?
Yeah. I worked on it. I did some commentary on it. I think what it was, and you know, if y'all recall from the trial, she had received a text, and you know, it might have been a dick pic or some whatever from her partner. I think she was so much in a rage, maybe not in a rage, but in some type of excitement to where I think she just lost focus. She walked to the wrong apartment, and when she got to the door, it was open. And when she walked in and saw a black man on the couch, she didn't see within herself that she could have made a mistake, and she was like, "He's the one that made the mistake. Let me shoot him."
Cause I've been living in buildings the last 10 years, and I've been on that phone and got off on the wrong floor, walked strictly to my apartment.
But that ain't up no stairs, bro. I do that, but that's going up.
Yeah, going upstairs.
How you gonna accidentally walk up some stairs?
So
I ain't never.
So you think she went up there with the intent?
Well, then she had to know him. They had to have some type of relationship.
And that was my next.
Like, how can you accidentally walk up some stairs? Like, you can't. Like I say, if you got an apartment building and there's one right here and there's one right there, and you walk in that one at the same side of your apartment, okay, cool. But you're not gonna accidentally walk up no fucking stairs. How can you do that? That don't even make sense.
You're gonna be counting them stairs.
I thought it was premeditated at first, but I just didn't see the motive for her to go up there and do that.
Man, they probably was fucking no type
of way. And what gave me the thought that he got the premeditated, because when the brother hugged her, it felt like they already knew each other, had some sense of love. Now I understand.
What the fuck he was doing?
I understand. They say the God forgives and all of that, but that ain't that easy, man. I can forgive you from a distance, but I want to hug you. To me, that just felt like y'all already had some type of friendship. You knew or something. You know what I'm saying?
Plus going up the stairs. And
I just don't believe the stair part. Like I
thought it was elevated.
I mean, what she was on? Drunk? I'd have been all kind of drunk. I ain't never walked up no stairs, fool. I get fucked up all the time. You
walking up the stairs, you gonna figure out what floor. Oh shit, is this
you
the right
know this ain't what I do to get home.
And how many flights did she go up?
How fucked up you is?
Nah, she didn't walk upstairs, but she drove up the ramp to.
Oh, she didn't walk up no stairs. How it went there?
So she drove up through the ramp in the apartment complex in the parking deck. So she parked in the wrong spot, a floor up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, all right, that's that. I can understand that. You can fuck up like that.
You can fuck up on elevators.
I thought there was some stairs.
I thought it was the elevator.
I thought it was the elevator.
That's why when you said the stairs,
you can fuck up on that.
Yeah, you can fuck up on that.
You can fuck on that driving on the wrong floor.
You can drive on the wrong floor, park and walk in the
Like
wrong.
I said, I think her partner, because he was in an extramarital relationship with her. He sent her whatever he sent her, and I think she was trying to get back to her room to do whatever she was about to do. And she wasn't focused on the apartment.
Where she was going.
And when she got, like I said, when she got to the door and she saw a black man in the apartment, the only scenario in her mind was he's a burglar. She did not take a step back and say, well, I might be wrong here.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, she was like, he's black and I'm white.
There was some racism.
Ain't no way I'm the one that's in the wrong.
Okay, so now let me jump to this. So they gave her 5 years? How many years?
10 years.
10 years. Boom. Okay. Which she should suffer the punishment, which should have been more than that. Boom. So now they have an appeal and they got to bring this witness back. And the witness gets killed. The guy from across the hallway.
That sounded like some straight mafia.
So now they put a whole twist in the story.
How the fuck a nigga go from being a witness to police to going to the trap and hustle?
To a drug, right. So how you
Niggas
feel
ain't
about
going straight back to the hood to sell dope after they just testified against the police?
And it's funny how they use drugs as the reason why you doing it, right?
Always the drugs in, so
they always want to use it. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds crazy. Matter of fact, I don't even want to talk about that shit.
Yeah, because we was on the. That's crazy, man. That's crazy for
It
them
just
to want us
sounds
to
crazy
believe
to
it.
me. Like, what?
But it's just crazy that they can get away with that shit.
And that's now no witness appeal. We out.
She appealed and be good.
We out. It happened like back to back. I was like, man, I watched this. Right when that nigga got smoked, I was like, that appeal finna come.
Yeah.
And they did it. I said, man.
Never do it work that fast on another color scale.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Never do you get an appeal that quick.
So we slaves again.
Basically, slave to the system.
We free slaves, fool. We got rights. We can get to certain points and all that. The only way we're gonna take back over is a war. That's the only way we gonna get that even. We might
lose that because niggas got choppers with no motherfucking name
But
on them little
it
kids.
got to
They
be a
training
mental.
they white
But they got more
kids
guns
and
than us
shit.
anyway.
It got to be mental. That's what I was asking
right,
when
like
I
a
asked about the
motherfucker was
revolutionary.
Right.
Because from what you was explaining and the civil rights, I believe they're getting ready right now. I believe they're getting the resources.
Yeah.
We're not getting ready.
Oh, yeah,
We
I mean,
living, we spending.
You don't think Trump?
They getting ready.
Yeah. You don't think Trump is giving these white nationalist organizations
Teaching
access?
the kids, like they really getting ready.
But they got to jump on us too because a lot of them aren't felons, so they can buy guns. They can practice shooting guns.
They
You can't train. No, if you train, you better have your ass deep in the country training. Because if they get you somewhere with that F on your record, your ass going down, and you and 10 million other motherfuckers, fool. So that's against us.
Yeah. They know they grow up learning how to hunt.
Right.
Exactly.
A
So
fella
look how
can't,
many daddies can't teach their boys how to
a
just
fella can't even be around a bullet.
survival.
You can't even be around a bullet.
I don't really, honestly, I don't think revolution is gonna happen.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it's gonna ever happen. I don't think we'll ever go to war like that. I think
No, it's
that the system will they'll give us a little bit at a time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever
Like
we're trying
they've
to
been
fight for, and that'll continue.
To show us
Because
throw
it's
us
the
out.
Because
satisfied.
at
Like
the end
you
of the
do
day,
it
Right.
we're not gonna come together like I don't think us as black people will ever come together
We need to.
on the same page. We definitely need to.
Yes,
I'm saying
sir.
like,
My man.
it ain't even about like coming together to go to war. It's like just coming
not
together to really make a real change.
That's
you
why
know
I
what I'm
said
saying?
that. Like I think our win is mental. Like if
Yeah.
we get it together there first,
Right.
Yeah.
we can conquer the rest.
Well, you can have a revolution without actually having a physical war.
Exactly.
And
You can
that's
create
what
your
I
own economic situation.
what I-
That's what the
That's what I
answer to.
meant.
See,
Right.
that's
That's
the
a big
revolution.
answer right
That's
there.
the revolution I believe in.
That's what I meant.
I look at, my thing is, fuck them people. You know what I'm saying? Fuck whoever against me or whatever, or whoever. At the end of the day, I see these Asians, I see these Mexicans coming over here and they doing this shit.
Yeah.
So I don't want to I don't want to say, even though they fucked over us and all that shit fucked up, fuck them people.
That's past.
At the
It's
end
what
of the
you
day,
gonna
if
do
you
now.
really want to make it a revolution, I believe, is starting your own shit, supporting, building that community.
Let's
shit.
really do it.
That's the real,
Yeah.
getting black people to support each other.
Right.
Like, that's what it's all about.
Bro, we had that.
We need
the
it.
third war was like that back in the day,
Exactly.
right?
Hell yeah.
But
Exactly.
they tore that apart.
Exactly.
We had
We let them tear it apart though. We can't blame
Now,
nobody.
that's what I mean on the revolution side. We have to be stronger where we can't let them
Right.
this time or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Infiltrate us.
We got to be stronger than that. That's the revolution to me. Like having the brain. You know what I'm saying, to be able to figure out how to stop that or see that before it happened.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This time.
And to that point, I think one of the most important things is the folks who have the ability to make a lot of money or that are super talented, they got to stay in these black areas and help build it.
It need to be this. It need to be athletes, rappers, going back to their hood and doing something, some type of business, some type of fuck a party, fuck a whatever, like some type of business that hire the neighborhood, that hire the community that's in, where you can really eat and live off your community. You know what I'm saying?
And we can simply start with this, putting the stuff that we see that's not in the community today that we had coming up. Like,
Right.
a lot of that stuff ain't in the community no more. So the kids don't even go out in the community no more.
Right,
It's
exactly.
all about pacifying them with something like
And then
that.
too, a lot of the give back be through sports. Oh, we'll do this sports that it's bigger than that.
Right.
It needs because people who gonna play sports gonna be able to be all right. They gonna make it to college. You know what I'm saying? Most
be
likely,
the other
they got
kids.
it be the other kids who don't got those talents.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Who suffer and the motherfuckers who gotta be doing whatever they
That's
gotta
why I
do.
like all them field houses and boys and
It's
girls
about this
houses
to
in
me.
the hood.
It's about this. It's about owning corner stores and all the shit other motherfuckers from other places come do in our neighborhood. Own that. A black nail shop. Why black girls ain't trying to get nail shops when they making fucking probably $8,000 a motherfucking, no telling a week out there, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Because we don't have the financial smarts to even get the credit to open a business.
But look what I'm saying. Let's go back to.
Would you say that's what we should do?
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that because this niggas hit licks all day. We can do that shit. Like we hustlers. We run across money. We get the nail shop is $1,000 rent. Like we was talking about.
Everybody drives
at
fly.
most. Like,
Everybody got.
in the nail shop. They don't be fly. In the hood, them motherfuckers be in the corner. They probably pay $700 rent.
Right.
It's just about they sacrificing, working together, and making that shit pop. You know what I'm saying? And are they doing something, a service that other motherfuckers don't want to do? You know what I'm saying?
That's what they doing.
Exactly.
And we got a lot of that. It's a lot of them girls that don't want to do that job.
And that's a
They don't
good
look at
job.
it like, somebody
That's a
eat
good
nothing.
job. Just
It's
like
a
a
good
beauty
job. It
salon.
make money.
It's a good beauty supply.
Right.
Why we don't own no black? That's the answer. Motherfuckers spending $1,000 on weave and wigs and shit, and ain't nobody on the shit. There's motherfuckers who don't have this type of hair or wear these shit selling this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But we catching on because there's a lot of black girls
It
selling
is,
weed.
it is, and it is.
We
And
just don't
that's
have
why
the
they
money.
balling.
Yeah, we
You'll
don't.
see them on Instagram, them girls who got them little online
Super
stores.
Weave
balling.
Express.
The girls sell hair, they balling.
Yeah.
That's because everything we should, just like the clothing store. What the fuck is we buying from? We supposed to have a black, that's our money.
Right.
Yes.
Motherfuckers who don't even wear this shit selling this shit to us, man. Like,
Yes.
that's crazy. They see the profit. They say, okay, let's go get some money out of these motherfuckers. You know, and really, like I always say, if black people own the culture itself, we wouldn't give a fuck about nothing else. We'll be good because rap is #1.
Yeah.
So if we owned our albums that we putting out, if we own these big record labels that these motherfuckers making all these money off of us, if we owned all this type of shit, the clothing stores, the clothes we buy, if we ain't buying Versace, we buying fucking Fat Form like back in the day, or Fubu or whatever. We fly anyway. Rich Guard, Boss Life, whatever the fuck it be. You know what I'm saying? If we did our own nails and owned the hair, it'll be good. The community will feed itself.
If we owned our hustle.
Exactly. We owned everything that we do. We hustling for everybody else.
Yes.
If we own football, the shit, anything we 80% of or 70% of,
We need to own.
we need to own that shit,
need to
bro.
own.
And that's it. And if we did that, then we'll be good. We won't need, just like the Asians and the other motherfuckers, they don't be tripping. You don't never
They
hear
not
them
tripping
complaining
on.
because they self-sufficient and they doing their own thing. And then too, I ain't mad at nobody who taking advantage of the opportunities that's in the hood because they hustlers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we need to be more on that and think like that instead of, man, I want to go work for somebody else.
Consumers.
I want to motherfucking start my own empire.
Right.
I want to start my own shit.
That's a great segue.
You know what I'm saying?
And one of the programs that we started with growth and development, and I mentioned it last time we had that panel discussion, man. So BMW, the automotive company, and Forbes, they come to the table. They want to support the vision. So what they want to do is they want to teach folks who have been associated with growth and development and also in these inner cities, they want to teach them entrepreneurial skills.
That's dope.
It's about BMW and Forbes, bro.
That's
Two
crazy.
multinational corporations with billions of dollars. And they realize that the only way that we can get to a better tomorrow, so to speak, the way that we can clean up our communities, because white folks, really what they want to do is, I mean, you talk about gentrification, they want to move into these communities, but they also feeling guilt too, because they realize they're pushing us out. So trying to cure their white guilt, they want to start giving back. And one of the things that I challenge BMW and Forbes is that if you want to come back to the inner cities, you got to work with the organizations that's already been there. You can't try and work. You can't try and work around growth and development. You can't try and work around the Crips or the Bloods.
Yeah.
These are the most influential organizations in these inner cities, but you want to get the resources around them. And a lot of times, the people who really need the resources, who really need to know how to, balance a checkbook, or run a company, or understand supply and demand chain. You're not teaching them these aspects of how to actually run a company, and they're still running afoul and committing crimes and taking risks. If you want to eradicate these communities of this type of level of violence and crime, give us the resources. Teach us how to fish. And that's what BMW and Forbes, that's what they committed to, man. And I think that's the type of revolution we need. Right. Partnering up with these big companies. It ain't just got to be white companies. It can be black businessmen who want to give a Saturday a month to teaching kids how to be entrepreneurs. But we're not getting that level of instruction, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you said, they only come into the hood to give us, instruction on how to shoot a basketball or do some other stuff in which only 1 or 2% of the kids that are going to be there might go to college on that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really coming to the hood, giving us tangible skills, teaching us how to fish so we can fish for ourselves and fish for our communities, man. And that's what we're trying to do with the Old Man's Vision, man. Trying to expand it and explode it.
And this what you're going with the Larry Hoover Project.
The Larry Hoover Project, right,
Yes.
right. And the Larry Hoover Project, that started off as an advocacy project to get the old man out of prison. But as I started seeing him more and talking to him more, I realized how important his vision is and why it still needs to be in these inner cities. And he talked about, folks going to school, either getting their GED, going to college, or, giving themselves the tools, whether it's college or not, so they can put themselves in a position to take care of themselves and their community, man. Because being self-sufficient, like we talked about earlier,
Yes.
that's his number one thing.
That's his number one thing, being self-sufficient. What you speaking on?
Exactly. That's all I say.
It's the number one mindset.
That's being that who I am. I came in the game. I never had a job, so that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? It's like to own my own shit. Like I could have been signed with labels or whatever, but that's not my mind frame. You know what I'm saying? And when you self-sufficient, I see so much power in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even care about what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like them people. Like I don't give a fuck about them people because what I'm gonna do is gonna create for me, and they ain't gonna be able to stop that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The people who care is the people who have to deal with them on like say. If you working at a business and they own it, you know what I'm saying, you got to play by their rules, So I know everybody can't rap too, but at the end of the day, at the same time, think about all the other motherfuckers who come into your neighborhood and eating. Yeah. You could be doing that. You could have that mechanic shop. You could have that motherfucking whatever, that corner store. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can have all that shit. And you can be getting that income, because that's all it's about, income. You get income, you can get whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you could be a basketball player, get but not basketball. You can get some ball player income in your motherfucking hood out shit. But niggas don't even think like that.
Doing a lot of the trade.
Exactly. You do a motherfucking, you want to get money like a rapper, throw a show for one of them motherfuckers, you get the other half.
Yeah. If you like cars and you put up the oil change place in the neighborhood, it's a community. So how many other houses that many cars?
Exactly.
You got your quick oil lube by the house. Right. Everything is about convenience now.
Right. You become a job creator too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And we don't even have the option though. A lot of the time, like we don't even have an organized option. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times our business be run on some hood shit. You know what I'm saying?
But that's more why I believe in teaching. It's like those that's under us, like that we see our willing. We got to give them a great vision, because knocking heads with the hard heads ain't gonna get it. The people that's coming up need to display that, because if they put it down to the youngins coming under them, they gonna see it work. It works better when people see. Anything works better when people see it work.
So then I would say the only way to catch people's eyes is to do it, like you say.
Do it.
So and that it would be like a turkey leg hut. They booming. They getting ball player money out that bitch.
All right, a lot of black people too.
Exactly. Yes. It's number black. It's black people right there. That's a perfect example of how it should go. Breakfast Club.
Right.
Black owned, black people, Taste Bar, they got their stuff or whatever. Who else? Burns Barbecue, you know what I'm saying? Like this is shit, this is food. You ain't gotta be no rapper, you ain't gotta hoop, you could be just a good cook.
Yeah. Services, everything.
You know what I'm saying? All that shit. So it's like it's ways to do it. It's just about taking advantage of them opportunities or teaching people how to take advantage of those opportunities. Or to even make people think like that. I don't think a lot. When I was in the hood, I don't think I was like, damn, I should do a burger spot or some shit. It'll probably boom. You know what I'm saying? Nigga was thinking hooping, rapping, some shit like, or going to work for somebody else.
Going to work. That's the
like the natural thing. Let's go to college and go work for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Justin, you getting to talk to Larry, being somebody who's been going away this long, like his thought process. You going to talk to a man like that, what could you speak on? Speaking of him, his thought process, his visions, what you expected and what you got.
Well, I'll start with what I expected, man. So when I got invited to Well, when I got hired actually to represent him, the first thing I did was I hopped on Google, man. That's the last thing you should do when you want to figure out anything about Larry Hoover. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the man was probably 8 feet tall, bro. And I'm 6'6". So I'm going into the prison, man. I'm thinking like, man, I'm about to meet like this monster. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he's painted as. When you see him walk in, for one, they got him shackled. You know, hands, feet, which is a very extremely sad sight to see somebody like that shackled. But when you see him, man, he's very slight stature, probably about 5'9", very slim, old, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's important to note that he is a senior citizen, man. But when he walks in, he has this very cool, calm demeanor, man. It's very laid back. It's really like you're talking to like an old school cat from the country, man. I don't know if you guys got like country like relatives and stuff.
Everybody knows.
But very low key, soft spoken, very polite. So for one, just meeting him and having my whole narrative of him shift within a matter of seconds without him even opening his mouth. And then two, when you talk to him, man, he's extremely bright, you know, clarity of vision and thought, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who you could listen to talk for hours, man. I mean, most of our conversations when I go in the morning and I don't leave until they kick me out. So that's from like 9 to 3, you know what I'm saying? And it's mostly him talking. Like we'll talk about business for the first hour or two. After that, it's about him telling me about myself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What I need to be doing, and and I think it's really a blessing that I've had the opportunity to not just represent him, but be impacted by him. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you've been impacted by him, so you
greatly.
Yeah. But to also see someone who's been in isolation for damn near 30 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
And not being
lose
insane,
your mind.
lose his mind.
Yeah.
Who still
That's
have a
what we
vision.
always
That's
talk
why
about.
I asked that question.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And to still be a visionary to tell you some things you need to do.
Well, think about it,
Very
man.
enlightened.
He's seen every aspect of what it means to be black in this country, man. I mean, in the Jim Crow, he didn't have access to educational resources. When he went into prison, he was reading at a 3rd grade level. You know what I'm saying? Once he became of age, he got involved with, the street element. You know what I'm saying? And then he was able to teach himself not only how to read, but how to encourage other people to pick up that too. You know what I'm saying?
One thing he encouraged, education.
Right. It wasn't that he was just only self-motivated to enlighten himself. He got so fucking cold at that shit to where he could break it down in a very elemental way to where he could teach somebody who probably would have thought about getting their GED or picking up a book. He was able to teach them the importance of self-enlightening themselves, man. I mean, and the fact that he's still able to do that, almost 3 decades after isolation, man, I mean, that's a testament to how cold he really is, man, how mentally strong he is. I mean, one of the things he said, though, was that he can't be in isolation that long without having some type of issues, and he's very honest about that, which also shows that nobody should be in isolation that long, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody. That's unhuman.
Nobody.
Yeah.
The fact that he has the wherewithal to say that, yeah, man, I've been here so long, man, I'm sure I'm not as good as I used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a red flag within itself. Like, why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Why do they still have you here? But, I mean, to fully respond to your question, man, I mean, his clarity of vision is even clearer than what it's ever been. Because, he's seen the highs and the extreme lows. And I think, we definitely need him out so he can express what that means to kind of navigate this extremely racist country in a way to which, he can show us the pitfalls and the traps. And he can, teach a future generation to avoid the shit that he ran into. You know
Exactly.
Right on.
Exactly.
That's real. Well, man, shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up. We sure appreciate you coming out,
Appreciate
giving this
you
good
coming
game,
out.
Yes,
brother.
sir, man.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
you coming
Yeah,
out.
thanks for the
Appreciate you,
platform,
brother.
man.
Yes, sir.
What's your Instagram or anything that you got going on? So they can help you.
My IG is justin.a.moore. The Hoover Project is L Hoover Project on Instagram. That's probably the best way y'all can reach out and follow the movement, man. Like I said earlier, man, this is probably the best time he's ever had in which he might be able to get out. So we need as much support as possible. We got a petition going right now.
Right now.
And what we plan on doing with that petition, if we get enough signatures, we're going to send that shit straight to the White House. We're going to let the president know, like, look, you got this amount of motherfuckers that are really supporting this. You need to take note. Because I don't think they really believe that people support the man like we claim they do. So we need to see some real tangible types of support. And I think the petition is the best way of doing that. So find that petition on the L Hoover Project page.
And there it is. I'm up out of here to connect.